Terry, and I'm back with another YouTube video. I had gotten a lot of questions on, did I forgive? Was it easy to forgive? So I want to address that. Did I forgive my husband? Yes. Did I forgive the other old girl? Yes. Was it easy? Absolutely not. I believe being a part of the human race, we automatically have feelings of wanting to be vindicated, wanting to be justified, wanting to be made right. And in order to truly forgive in that scenario of adultery and go on with my union, I had to put away my desire to want to be right, want to be vindicated, and want to be justified. And those needs innately come with who we are as people. Like, it's almost like I'm owed either an infidelity on my part, or you got to do everything I asked you to do. And that is not how you, number one, restore marriage, and number two, how you receive someone back into your life by making them work to earn your love or earn your trust. Trust is something that has to be given by release. You know what I mean? Not by way of, okay, now that you wash the dishes every day, you've sucked up to me every day. Now, you know what I'm saying? I can forgive you. I can place my trust in you. That's not how that is not how I was taught through my restoration counseling to deal with my husband, deal with the thought of the other woman. I remember in that session, like it was yesterday, where Bishop was just like, can you forgive? And I was infuriated. Like, you asking me that question? No, absolutely not. He said, do you have the ability, as you proclaim to be a woman of God, do you have the ability to forgive? And I had to sit there. I cried. I sobbed. And then after a stretch of time went by, I was like, yes, I can forgive him, her, all of this that has happened inside of my life. I can forgive and I can move forward. Does that mean that, automatic forgiveness equals you get to restore a relationship with people that you were friends with and then you feel betrayed by? No, you don't always have to restore relationships. That goes by your faith, it goes by your belief system and your personal belief system. Like, what do you feel like inside you can handle? Because along with forgiveness, number one, forgiveness is not some emotional roller coaster where you cry and you release everything out and then all of a sudden, everything is set straight in the world. No, forgiveness is actually a process, but the process begins when you begin to say, I can forgive. I have the ability to let this go. Does that always happen in that order with every individual? Absolutely not. I will be the first one to say I made the choice to forgive in months and months and months. I had to work through whatever the feeling was. So if the feeling wasn't that day I'm hurt, I had to be honest with myself. I had to be honest with my spouse. I had to be honest with my Lord. Like, I'm hurt. This hurt. I'm disappointed right now. I'm in pain right now. My mind is playing tricks on me and I can't stop thinking about this. I am affixed on this right now. Like, how could you do this to me? I've been a good woman to you. You know what I'm saying? I've been your wife. I've had your children. I helped you with your businesses. What? What I didn't deserve. Like, wanted to be justified, of course. So I had to work through wanting to be justified, because that was my biggest thing. Vindication and justification have always been a big, big, big marker for me personally. And so I had to put away that whole desire to want to be vindicated, want to be justified. And that was a process, a working process, that in and of itself, because it was just like, why did you do this to me? I've only loved you. I've always loved you. I've loved you since I was a little girl. We'll get into that, how we met and all of that in another video, and he'll actually come off of that video. What? Sidebar. Digress. Coming back. But that was actually very hard. And so I want you to understand, that wasn't a walk in the park. I actually compared the thought of, if I could just put it away and wash my hands, it'd be much easier than having to work through emotions on a moment-to-moment basis, then to get it to day-to-day basis, then get it from day-to-day to week-to-week basis. month-to-month basis, having to deal with each and every emotion, work through every thought process. Because just as sure as my name is Carrie, you'll deal with the playback recorder of the mind. And maybe, I remember what this was this and now it's making sense and yada yada yada. It actually does that. Your mind actually does that. And I had to work past that. Do I deal with residue from it? Absolutely. Residue means that though you've forgiven, though you've let prisoners out, though the prisoners have been set free of your heart, your mind, you do not desire to be vindicated or justified, or like people need to get what's coming to them. Residue says this thing from time to time still plagues my heart. It still plagues my mind. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that that's going to be a part of it. And a lot of times, the affair spouse will be like, I wish you just get past that. But if you injure somebody, you have to deal with the residue. You have to deal in wisdom and love and kindness with restoration and walking with them through that. Just as they have to walk with through your restoration and your guilty conscience and everything that you're dealing with. You have to be willing to extend that olive branch. I sat up and watched that Lemonade special that came out last year, and Beyonce had a poem. I don't know if it was hers or not. I feel like her and her husband are talented, but I'm not a avid listener. Actually, I just wanted to see Lemonade. She said that my offender became my healer. And you have to make space when that level of betrayal happens, that your spouse becomes your healer. Your spouse becomes the one that though they might have brought emotional ruin, emotional damage, that they come in and be the one to bring emotional healing, emotional health. And even that's like a humbling scenario, because now truth has to interact with truth. You have to humble yourself so they can come in, because a lot of times our pride be like, no, bro, I don't need you. I am a made woman in this piece, or I'm a made man. And we can't do that. You have to leave space for them to bring the healing that's necessary so that your soul can be made whole. Now, residue, though, they still have to walk that process out, because there might be some things you still have questions about. You might still need an answer about. You might want to hear about. You might want to hear the full-on truth, like what happened. That's a part of residue. The storm has passed. Now it's the debris on the beach, and residue is basically the debris on the beach that you're working through. It's like cleaning up the fragments from the storm. And so we can have 5 years of debris. God, I had went through all of the affair sites and the hurting women and the hurting men. And there was a couple on one of the sites. And these I am of Christian faith. Of course, you know this. So I went to the Christian sites. And there were Christian marriages that was suffering 20, 30 years later. They're still dealing with residue. Maybe they did not attack every area. I'm not sure. I'm not in their marriage. I'm not in their life. I'm not sure what happened. I know for me, from time to time, it'll rise up. And when it rises up, and I tell you, it's annoying when it rises up. Why? Because you yourself get tired of it crossing your mind. You yourself be like, who am I? What am I? What have I become? Why is it still even here? These people are not in my present. I don't even care. But you still traipse. And so what I call residue basically is a trespasser. So what do you do with trespassers? The Bible tells me, we pull them down. We cast them out. We make them subject to the knowledge of Christ, because that means that they're trespassing over the knowledge of God over your life, to say, well, we know better than God knows. Because now we're going to drive your emotions. We're going to drive your spirit. We're going to drive your mind. And we're going to make you subject to every little fragment that we have to offer. And hopefully we can just tear you up and have you depressed after we're done doing what we have to do. And we have to pull that down. We have to pull the replay down. We have to break the recorder of our minds in order for residue not to be so frequent. Is it easier said than done? Absolutely. Because it's like, some days it's just like, I'd rather just lay in bed and not deal with the world right now. But because greater is he that's in me, guess what? I can deal with it. I can pray about it. I may be able to speak about it. I may hold it back and just talk to God about it. But guess what? Sarah said something inside of Genesis. She said, I'm going to let God judge between me and you and the wrong you've committed against me. And sometimes we just have to do that. I mean, we know what the scripture says. We know that the Bible says ... I don't even have to put that out there. What it is and what it is not. And so when we're dealing with residue, we have to deal with a stronger level of forgiveness, a stronger level of openness, and a stronger level of grace and mercy. Because to the merciful, we are granted mercy. So I just want to put that out there and answer that question, because it has been coming up a lot. And that's fine, because I feel like I am the only one that can tell my story the way I can tell it from my point of view, because nobody else had to walk me through this, and nobody else can gossip about it because they weren't there. So let me tell my own stuff and put it out there on my own level, on my own release, on my own terms, right? So, I had gotten this look, right, from Belle Jordan on YouTube. Like, I am in love with her and B-Face Honey and baby girl from Chicago. Her name is falling my mind. And Queenie Rosenblatt, Brianna Marie, Queenie Rosenblatt, and Jeannie Beauty by Jeannie. I think she changed, Jeannie Jenkins now, and Jackie Ina. Those YouTubers, they got my heart. But I love you all, and you guys have a great night, because of course I will. Bye.